What is
wow, man?
What's up, Sekou?
That is a hell of an intro, brother. I like it.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate you taking the time out today to come out and share some of your knowledge and experience with us and some of my Facebook followers. So, guys, this is Sekou Pyle out of New Jersey. He's a director
What's
of
going
growth.
on,
guys? Director of growth for the DeVoe Group, crushing it up in Jersey. And all he knows is about selling. He's also started a program about doing a deal a day. So
yeah.
I don't know
that's
how
what
that
I'm
happens,
talk about.
but that's why I bring on people like this. So, Sekou, tell us what you have going on, man.
I'm a bit of a lunatic, man. So just warn your viewers, warn your Facebook friends that like we're insane, man. We decided that October is supposed to be a scary month, right? And I don't know what it's like where you guys are, but you know we've been stuck in the house for the last 6 months, so we're gonna look to do some really scary business. And so doing a deal a day is like crazy, man. We're challenging everybody in the Commitment to Capping group. It's a group that, you know, when you move into a company and you know the company is like, okay, so let's get you started, let's get you going with business. Here's your pen, here's your phone. You know, good luck.
Right.
But the Commitment to Capping group is like, it's just pure adrenaline, man. It's just action, action, action. We got a simple philosophy. We make a mess, we clean up to progress.
I love it.
Yeah, bro. It's been crazy too, man. Bunch of new agents in there doing like breaking their own norms too, man. Like new agents come in and you know how they're all like afraid of making connections.
Yeah.
They're in there like, you know, 200 contacts a day, giggling about it. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I spoke to so many people. Yeah, we're doing some powerful stuff.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, that's the way to do it. I mean, that's the thing in the business. I mean, you've been doing this a long time, and doing what you're doing with your role up there. I mean, people come into real estate with all that, you know, oh my God, it's good. I saw this on TV or I saw this and this is great. And then it's like, well, wait a second, you gotta work. Yeah.
Wow.
Zero, you know, and it's like, no, I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to push you. I'm going to get you excited, you know, bring some passion to the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And,
well, you know what we found, man? It's like, and this is no offense, man. I was raised single mom, working mom. She crushed it. All of my meals came from 9 to 5 work. Okay.
Right.
Like it you know, there is no insult to a good working person, right? What I've found is that folks get into real estate as an alternative to the 9 to 5. They get into real estate as an alternative to the employment, like rat race, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to own my own business. I'm going to make my own hours, et cetera, et cetera. The one thing that they never give up on, though, is the employee mentality. It's the idea that if I show up for work, and if I show up for work every day this week, I should have a check at the end of the week, regardless of the work that I did. If I show up, there should be some result. And it ain't like that in this world, man. You not only have to show up, it's how you show up. It's what you show up to do. We make fun in Commitment to Cap, and we're like, look, an employee watches the clock to see what time they can end. The owner watches the clock to see how many hours he can shove into a minute. And that is the difference.
I love that, dude. I love that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm shoving hours into minutes, man. That's what I'm doing.
No, you know? I get it, man. And if everybody starts thinking like that, that's like game over.
It's game over. It's just really big thinking, man.
Yeah.
It's really big thinking. We came over to EXP. We came over. Can I say where I came from? Is that all right with you?
Yeah. Go ahead. I mean,
yeah. So we were at Keller, and we were doing well at Keller, man. We were doing, I don't know, 200, 300 deals a year. Like it wasn't. We had a good life, right?
Right.
But what we found out was that when we were trying to grow past the models that they had in place, the resistance came from the very model itself, right? We were like, well, we were doing expansion, and it was a program. It was a relatively new program. There's a lot of big agencies doing it. A lot of, big teams were doing it. We were doing expansion, and we were going really fast. At one point, we had over 50 agents. just working like in 9 different, markets.
Yeah.
And we found that we were growing too fast for the mindset of the brokers and leaders that were in the individual market centers. Love them to death, but they couldn't conceive of anything past what was right there in front of them.
Right.
And so in coming to EXP, it was like, we came over with that same mindset. We came over like thinking we were going to have to fight to get what we wanted. And EXP was just like, there's the table. You can just do what you want with it. Like, right, you want to build those Legos, brother. And we were like, oh, okay. And that's what we're doing. We're just taking advantage of a truly open concept that if you're ready for it, right? There's a line in one of my favorite books. This woman named Octavia Butler wrote this book called The Parable of the Sower.
Okay.
And one of the first lines in the book is that God's gifts will burn unready hands. Right. And so
that's deep,
like it's deep, right? It's like, look, you asked for it and you may not be ready for it. Yeah, man. And so we I mean, that's where we are right now, man. We have a whole, like, we got a ball of fire in our hands right now. And we're just very lucky that we have the gloves to handle it, right? And we partner up with agents like yourself and really big thinkers like you and Nick and the Figueroas and the Sotos, so that one big fire really is one big fire, and everyone is kicking in to make sure that we're all succeeding. It's awesome.
No, that's, I mean, now that you said that, I'm going to be using that all the time. I love it. I mean, because I mean, there's so many people. There's no way that's not the way it works. Like, that's not the way it used to work.
Right.
I get that. Like, here's the thing about me, you may not know. Both my parents did real estate my whole life. And I was like, okay. And I never wanted to do real estate. So I joined the military and then I got out and then I got into real estate. And that was like 18 years ago. And I was like, well, the perfect thing is I'm going to own my own company one day. And then it's like, okay, now I've got a brokerage. Now what? There's nothing else. Well, there's a whole lot else. There's a whole lot else.
There's a whole lot else.
So we owned a few. Go ahead.
Yeah, we owned a few agencies as well. Like, we owned a few. We were part owners in a few of the market centers as well. And like you said, man, we thought that was the pinnacle.
Right.
You know, the quarantine shutdown, COVID thing, it affected us deeply. My family was deeply affected by it. You know, we've lost a few people. But the biggest lesson that I learned from this thing, man, is that, and I've been saying, that's my cat. That's actually my buddy's cat. Yeah, that's my buddy's cat. And then my son is coming out to get him so that he doesn't make a bunch of noise. Okay. So during the COVID, during the shutdown, man, and I've been saying this a lot, so it really has been resonating to me, man. It's the cemetery is filled with unpublished work of art. Right. It's just, there's a bunch of people that were getting ready to do something, and for whatever reason, man, they didn't get started, and all of those great ideas and all of those great concepts are gone, at least for the moment. And I didn't want that to happen, man. So when we shut down, instead of retreating, right, we used the tools that were available to us, and we bivouacked, man. We made it into something bigger. Yeah. And to be honest with you, I'm very happy that we came to EXP before all of this started, because we were prepared to be in the cloud when everyone else was waiting for the doors to open back up. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, when I saw it, I was like, wait a second. Glenn put this thing together back in 2009, when everything was bad, everything was bad. And, that's how some of these best companies, they come out of, whether it's real estate or any company, they come out of hardware and they find a solution. And, these guys grew a little bit. I watched them grow. And then finally I was like, wait a second. They went from 20 to 2000 and what was that? Like 6-7 years. And I was like, that's respectable. Sir. That's respectable.
Yes, sir.
I'm 3.5 years, or a little over 3 years, 3.5 years in. Now it's 2,000 to 35,000. It's like,
Dude.
what? Like, what?
Dude, you're 3.5 years in.
Yeah.
Congratulations, brother. That so you know what that tells me, man, is like you not only took the risk, you're not only benefiting from the risk, but then you had the grit to hang in there when everyone else was like, oh, no, that's not sustainable. And the
everything.
so this stock you must be doing backflips for this stock.
Oh, I mean, I just talked about it today with a couple agents. Like, this is crazy. Like, there's people that got in. I'll even back up another step. Since both my parents did real estate, right? So in 2011, my dad was sick and getting ready to pass away. And, I was an agent, just minding my own business. And I was like, I found out about EXP for one, and dad passed away. So I was like, you know what? I know about EXP, but I'm going to start my company, Treckler Real Estate. Well, I did that, kind of, give some kudos to dad and stuff. And then I still watched EXP. Yeah, right. So it felt good. But then I watched EXP tick up and tick up and tick up. And I'm like, okay, they added 100 agents. They added 50 agents. Like, okay. And then, but I found out about them when they had like 150 total. Yeah, exactly. That's everybody's reaction.
Well, dude, when we left KW, right? Under a little bit of controversy. I hope nobody gets offended, but that's how we do. We don't do anything small, right? So when we left, we took 300 agents and we all moved together. Wow. And then in the 6 months to follow, there's another 300 to 400 agents that came over. So our little slice of the world, this northeastern slice of the world, it grew by, I don't know, 1,200 agents in the last year and a half. I mean, that ain't hay, in this area, right? And so what we were saying to agents is that, yeah, you know what? They already have a nice little chunk of the world. But look how much more is in front of us. Every new agent that comes out, this will be an option for them. And it has not disappointed, brother. It is not disappointed at all. We have met some of the best agents in the world. And it is no small thing to talk about your sponsor line. It just, the amount of support, the amount of business that's, okay. So we were capped pretty much at 400 deals a year. Like we've been doing like 350. We like made 400, but like that was with extreme effort and every ounce of our being in order to get to 400, right?
Yeah.
And so we were at the table. Yeah.
Blood, sweat, and tears, probably.
Yeah. No way we could do better than this, man. It's like we're going to, like, at our old agency, we were going to all of the top teams. Like, how do we get better? They were like, what do you mean? How do you get better? Like, that's it. Like, what are you talking about? And then we went and had dinner with some of our sponsor lines. They weren't our sponsor line at that point.
Right.
And they were throwing numbers around like 1,200 deals a year, 2,000 deals a year. But it was like tossed around, like having conversations with each other about, 6 extra deals to get up to 2,000 and things like that.
Right.
And so, based on the old model, we were just like taking notes at the table, like sneaking in and taking notes at the table. And, like Whistle grabs the pencil and writes out like his whole marketing plan for us and just like shoves it back at us like, here, take that. Like, oh, it's just a different culture worth of giving. And that allows us to do ambitious stuff. Like, let's do a deal a day each, let's do 300 deals this month. And let's fail at 150 deals this month. Like, you know what I mean? Like who cares? It's been amazing.
No, and that's what people, like I have a new agent now I was talking to, and she was just telling me, she's like, I just want everything to be perfect. I'm like, guess what? That's one thing that's never going to happen. It's just not. And you said something about, what was it you said about making a mess?
Yeah, you make a mess, you clean up to progress.
Yeah, there you go. I love that. I'm actually going to take note of that one too. Man, dude, I love talking to you, man.
Thank you. I have 5 kids, right? And so the one thing that's constant in my life is Legos, right?
Yeah.
So you really want to build something with Legos, you don't take one Lego out of the box at a time. You take the box, you dump the box out, you see all of the colors and all of the sizes and shapes you have, you know what you're working with, you could build something with it and then put the rest back, right? I mean, that's progress right there,
Yeah.
it's
Go
I'm
ahead.
listening.
Yeah.
No, I'm listening.
I mean, like my mind is like all over the place, that whole Lego thing. Cause I mean, I love Legos, my son, my kids. I mean, and you just, like you said, you dump it out, and it's kind of like what we have. Dump it. Here's everything you could ever want. I'm going to take this, I'm going to take that, and I'm going to do this. And this is my model. But then there might be somebody else that takes your tools and makes a different model, but it's still crazy successful. It's still crazy successful. And
Dude,
we have all the Legos.
And we got all the Legos. And what you and then so what my son pointed out to me is that, right, so we built like this Black Panther spaceship, right? It like you follow the rules, right? And he says, wow, we've got Legos left over. He was like, we could build something else. And that's the essence of our business.
Yeah.
There's no way. Perfection is having stuff left over. Right. Oh, wow. There's room to grow. There's room to build. There's blind spots that we have that we're not paying attention to, that you can only pay attention to when you make a mess. You can only pay attention to it when you're left with pieces left over and you're like, oh, I'm sure those were supposed to be in there somewhere. But his perspective, my 7-year-old's perspective is, oh, cool, I got extra Legos. I could build something else with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where we need to be.
Right. Man. Nah, that leaves a lot of things out on the table, because you can build just about any type of business you want. They've given you, it's like all in your lap. It's like, what are you going to choose? What do you want to build? You know, do you want to build this? Do you want to build based on this? Do you want to build it with other agents that are on your team, or maybe not even on your team? You know, and it just opens up everything. And like, you know, people, I'm sure they've talked to you guys about it, but, you know, let's buy a franchise. Well, now you're stuck here. You're right. You're stuck here, you know, but EXP is like,
here's my response to let's buy a franchise. What color are the walls in the conference room? And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, before you talk to me about buying a franchise, I want to know what color you're going to paint the walls in the conference room. And they're like, what do you care about that? I was like, are you kidding me? That top producer that's gonna just constantly complain about the color of the conference room, or the kind of coffee in the break room, or the color of the doorknobs on the front door. Are you kidding me? Every day you got to deal with that. I don't. No, thank you.
Yeah.
What color is the doors on the latest Blockbuster that opened? Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's I get to enjoy all of the aspects of my business, even the tough stuff, because I'm not taking care of the BS. I'm not seriously. If one more person came to me and they were like, but you know, but I'm calling the same people everyone else is calling. You know, they shouldn't call my market. I'm like, all right, well, then call a different market. What do you want me to do? Like, you know, you're all independent. You know, we have a fun.
Yeah, we're having fun, and you know, those people can go out and do their franchise in this town or even this big town, but they're still stuck with that one office or that one building. Maybe they get to go out and buy another one, but I don't know. I don't have to spend anything to go start something in another state. I pay zero, just like you do.
Zero, and the integrity is there with those agents, right? So without naming anything specific, because I think they're all the number one transgression of all of the models that are based in brick and mortar is that somehow or another they're going to provide them with enough training or coaching that's going to get these agents off the ground and into the stratosphere. As an agency, if you're in a capping agency, right, most capping agencies don't want you to cap because that pays for the office. Once you cap, you stop paying for the office. And if you're in like one of these other agencies that have like this weird structure, they want to keep you in the middle or at the low end because your dollars pay for the office. Your dollars pay for the receptionist or the copy machine and things like that. In this universe, I can ask the question to any agent in this universe and be like, oh, what does your split pay for? And they'll be like, Verbena, such as like they're going to just drop 3 or 4 things that they turn around and make a 40% profit on. It's just that simple. And training takes us to the root. Dude, I run this workshop, right? So the workshop is called the Appointment Academy.
That's
right.
right.
Yeah.
Tell us about
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
man. Tell us about that.
Yeah. It's a 5-day workshop. It's expensive, but you build a lot of business out of it, right?
Right.
Inside of EXP, right? The agents that are working with us in our little group here get the benefit of the Appointment Academy every single day. We get up, we work out together, do your calls, you practice your scripts, you're listening to objections, you're getting objections, you're handling objections. The amount of accountability and growth that's there is just amazing. And then at the end of the day, we review. But this is just our little group.
Yeah.
And it's just because we said we would. You know what I mean? So I've got agents from probably about 5 or 6 different downlines in there committed to capping. It's awesome.
Right. Nah, that's, I mean, you know, everybody, that's the thing, like everybody wins. Like it just doesn't happen other places. And, you know, it's tough because you start talking about like success and strategies in real estate. And even if I try not to talk about EXP, it comes right back.
It's going to come up. You know what I do when I call agents now?
What's that?
Terry, I call agents. I'm like, hey, listen, this is Sekou. This is a recruiting call. Did you want me to wait, or did you want me to respect your business and give you a call now and allow you to get in on the ground floor? Like, that's my call now. Like, it's not even like, you know, hi, I see that you, I mean, all of those scripts are great. I'm a very scripted agent. It's just so many agents are asking about the model now that I don't even have the time to, like, I've got to eliminate people to talk to people. You know what I mean? Like,
no. Yeah, I mean, if you just knock it out of, you know, get it out of the way, are you interested in at least hearing about it, or you're not? It just saves us all some time. No, I get it, man. I get it. Oh,
we had a conversation today. We had an agent attraction conversation today. Agent set the appointment, asked me if I can come in on it. I'm like, absolutely, I got you covered. And they were trying to give me the background of this agent. I was like, wait, just do me a favor. I'd rather just like ask her questions. I'd rather not know anything and ask her questions. So the very first question I asked her was like, hey, nice to meet you. How aggressive do you want me to be?
Right.
And she was like, what do you mean? But be as aggressive as you can be. I want it. And she like dug her claws in and was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Those are the ones you want.
Up, by the way.
Minded, aggressive, excited, you know, the people that can hold the fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People that, without getting burnt. So everybody that rocks with us wants this. Right. So this is the baby bell. There's actually a bigger bell, but this is the baby bell, right?
Wow. Okay.
And we create excitement. Terry, if I was to say I had an agent down in Virginia that in Newport News that was interested in the business, you know, do you mind talking to him or her or whatever?
Right.
I mean, I'm already predicting the answer, but I mean, like, what would you say?
Let's roll. Bring him.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So I happen to have an agent who's a Navy man. What line of military were you in?
Well, I was a Marine, but my dad's retired Navy, so we're okay.
Okay. So we don't. There's no meat and potatoes going on right there.
Right.
My brother was a Navy man too, so
okay.
You know, he's a salty old dog. Right.
You.
But this kid is down there in Virginia, and I think he's still a reservist. I think he's still he still goes back in and goes. But this kid shows up every day that he can, and he puts in 4 days worth of work into 1 day's session. Wow. And I am going to kill him if he doesn't reach out to you and to be in here in your universe. He's already in EXP. He's already doing good stuff. But I mean, you're in perfect alignment with this person and what he is and what he does. So I'm gonna push him in your direction.
Nice, man. I appreciate that. And you say he's already with us?
Yeah, he's already with us.
Okay.
And he's, I think of all of the agents that I work with, he is the only one in Virginia.
Okay.
So and I want to say he's in Virginia Beach too. So I'll send you his name. Yeah. I'll send you his name.
Awesome. That's exciting, man. That's the thing. Like we all here help each other and just share in it. I'm like, let's figure out a way so everybody wins. Let's all do this. You know?
Yeah, he's an he's an agent attractor. He's a business builder. I know I'm all over the place with this thing, Terry, man. Forgive me, man. I just see, I gotta sit on my hands. I told you I sit on my hands, bro.
That's what happens with us. We get excited, man. It takes us back, and we're like, what can we do here? I want to help this. I want to help you. I want to. Yeah, it's so different than what it was at any of the previous companies you were at or I was at. It's just like everything's open to us. The sky's the limit. I hate to sound corny about it, but I mean it truly.
But that's the truth.
Yeah,
we're in the cloud. We're a cloud-based brokerage, so the sky's the limit, right? So your story is like quintessential story that I key into, right? Legacy real estate agent, right? And then your parents owned, so you owned a company, and then you're introduced to the model, and you go and you start scratching your head, and you start A/B weighing, like, why am I doing all of this stuff instead of just going over here and producing and being able to focus on helping people? I wonder if you're like me, where the freedom now of not being an owner or I make fun. I'm like, I own more now than I ever have before. And I'll tell you that story, right? But the freedom of not being a traditional owner has allowed me to help more people on a daily basis than I could if I was in my office and the door was closed and Maria was in my office, 6 other people were waiting, and one person gets frustrated and things like that. Is it the same for you?
No, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, I outdid it, but it was more for my own benefit, because I didn't go out and like crush a bunch of houses or bring on a bunch of agents as an independent. I just wanted to mind my own business, sell some houses, flip some houses, things like that. And then, like I said, it's from my dad because he passed away. And I was like, then the whole EXP, I was like, you know what? It's just a better way. It just is. I mean,
it's a better way.
It wasn't my way I didn't create it, but it will be my way once I'm in it. And now it's, if I could have built it, it's everything I wanted, but I didn't think about it. So hats off to Glenn, as we all said, we're thankful for creating something that we all want. And now we can share it. That brand new agent that got licensed. And
it's surprising that brand new agent coming through the door is going to be like, what the hell? What?
Yeah. And if they even think about another place, they might walk in there like, wait a second, this isn't like where I was. You know what I mean? Because we're excited. We are excited, and we're all helping each other. We're not holding stuff, not sharing it and whatnot. It's like
I share my screen daily. Here's how I market. And I go in with my KV course, sharing my screen, marketing in front of the agent, showing them the language, showing them this. Here's what's funny. So when I said, I actually own more now than I ever have, right? I've been in the business like you. You say 18 years. I've been in a little bit longer, about 22 years now. And not one person in 22 years. I've developed a lot of business for other agents, for brokerages, for companies, for brands. I've helped to develop a lot of agents. I've helped to recruit and build businesses. Not one company has ever asked me to partner with them. Ever.
Right.
This is the first company that was like, see what you can do with this. Where do you want to grow? Like, let me get out of your way. Like, let's really, truly partner. I feel like I'm truly partnered with this company, and it's nothing but growth in front of us, man.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. It's exciting. And like you mentioned, you have the Appointment Academy. I mean, you're doing the Deal a Day challenge, or I don't know if it's a challenge, but it's Deal a Day.
Yeah.
You're just doing it, man. I mean, so and it's these conversations that make us all better, And
it does. Terry, I feel like I got a new ally in this game right now, man. This is awesome.
I mean, we've seen each other at least on Facebook land, but I mean, now we're sitting down face to face. For what it's worth, I'm like, hey, let's do it. I want to help you. How can we do this?
Well, I tell you what, the gentleman that introduced us, at least this time around, Nick Krem, right? Yeah. Nick and I, we put together a little program called Sekou Krem. You guys can look it up, sekoukrem.com. But it was the idea that I have been doing things one way for a long time, and Nick has been doing things one way for a long time. And this kind of partnership where we get together, where I meet Terry, and Terry is breaking down what he's doing and his whole experience and his life. And then I come in and we come together and we make it better. Like everything that we do, we make better. I make a joke. I'm like, most agents get into partnerships and it's 1 and 1 equals 1, right? Because one person's deficient in something, the other person's deficient in something. So they make one good agent. You know, I keep meeting agents here that's 1 and 1 equals 3. And it's just, it feels fantastic, man. It absolutely feels fantastic.
No, it is. Well, straight, man. And like I tell people too, it's like a game changer. I've heard that 1,000 times in real estate. It's like a life changer. It just changes it all. The way you think, the way you act, the way you feel. So yeah,
Absolutely.
Man. All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, anything you want to share, man, before we wrap this thing up?
I will share everything that I have with any one of you. So it is my pleasure. If you know Terry and you drop in the comments that you know Terry, man, the world is your oyster in my book. The more the merrier as far as I'm concerned. You can go to theappointmentacademy.com if you wanted to, you know, that's a pay-per, right? So you sign up. We're going to have a workshop, I think the 12th through the 16th. I'm not sure. Most of it is by word of mouth, right? You can go to sekoucreme.com. Steep discount on that through Terry's page. But if you wanted to just kind of come in and rummage around, you can go to Commitment to Capping. Terry, you're more than welcome to come in there and just chew it up and add folks and lead things. I'll make you a damn admin. I don't care. Let's go.
I love it, brother. I love it, man. Oh, yeah. We'll be talking more and more, man. Definitely, I'll be jumping in some of the things you have and sharing what I got for you too, man. So
perfect, man. Perfect. So
right,
little known fact. Little known fact. If you guys don't know, you drop a Marine off someplace, you come back later, there's a city there. So this is the right guy to go to, man. So I'm gonna tell you now. I'm already in.
Awesome, man. We'll be catching up, bro. I appreciate your time today. You guys, reach out to this man if you need anything, if you need some help, have some questions. He already told you how to get in touch with him. And if you want me to connect you, just let me know and we'll make it happen one way or another. All right. All right, Sekou, you have an awesome day, man. We'll be talking.
You too, brother.
Keep doing your thing,
later.
man. All right, later
Thank
on.
you, man.
All right, we're out.